police located a 44-year-old male who had suffered a number of gunshot wounds. The information I have received at the moment is that he suffered a gunshot wound to his lower leg and to the upper shoulder chest area. He was treated at the scene by ambulance where he was stabled, and he was taken to hospital where he is currently in a serious but stable condition and is currently in surgery. Police set up a crime scene at this location, and specialist crime scene officers are there now examining the scene. Police have also spoken to a number of neighbours and have canvassed the area for CCTV. Investigators from the Raptor squad have attended the scene this morning, and they have taken carriage of this crime, and a strike force has been established. I want to reassure the community that we strongly believe that this is a targeted attack. I know throughout the media this morning a certain high-profile person's name has been put out as the victim. Unfortunately, at this time, I cannot confirm who that victim is, and the reason for that is that person is a victim of a violent shooting. He is currently undergoing surgery in hospital, and our main focus at this moment not only is to identify who is involved in this, but to ensure he and his family are safe. So I would like to ask anyone in the community who may have been in that area this morning, just before 6 a.m, who may have witnessed anything, who may have dash cam or CCTV, if they can please contact the Bankstown Police Station or Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Further information that was identified at the scene is that we believe that it was two males, a gunman and a driver of a white, possibly an SUV, that after the shooting left the scene, and a vehicle very shortly after this crime was committed was located in a street in Wiley Park, and it had been set alight. Part of our investigation currently at the moment is to identify whether or not that vehicle is the vehicle that was linked to this crime. But like I said, we believe at this point in time that it's definitely a targeted attack. There is no ongoing threat to the community, but I ask again, we need help from the community. If anybody has seen anything, anybody has any footage, if they can please make contact with police. Thank you.
Was the reason why you won't confirm the victim was because he wasn't the intended target of the attack?
Look, the person that is currently in hospital, he is known to police, but he has no criminal history. He has a small amount of traffic history, but at this stage we do believe that he may not be involved in any criminal activity. But as part of this investigation and this strike force, the investigators will look at who he is involved in, who his family may be involved in, and any links that may be to organised crime.
We've seen so many incidents that I guess could have been linked to organised crime in their nature recently, in the last few weeks, in the last few days, even. Is it all kind of leading up to this? Has it all been leading up to this?
Yeah, look, there's definitely been an escalation in this crime in the southwest. We've seen a number of fire bombings, shootings, but at this point in time, like I said, it's very, very early in the investigation. So investigators need to link all those parts together to identify if this certain shooting is linked to any other organised crime or recent activity in Sydney.
Is that home targeted in the past?
I don't have that information, unfortunately.
How was the 44-year-old found?
Upon arrival of police, my understanding was that he was on the front lawn, and he was obviously in a fair amount of pain. He was able to speak to police upon their arrival before ambulance took over, did a fantastic job of stabilising him and getting him to the hospital where he's undergoing the care that he needs.
This happened at 6 a.m. or just before 6 a.m. It's still early, but it is a time where there are people who are out and about, whether it's exercising or going to work, whatever it is. And for a shooting to happen and then subsequently a car fire to happen, how dangerous and reckless is it?
Oh, look, this is definitely a concern. Happening at 6 a.m, yes, you are right, there are people out and about going about their business, and we are concerned about this brazen attack, and that's what it is. It's a brazen ambush of this male person who, from my understanding, was heading to his vehicle to go to work. Now, why this has happened, that's going to form a major part of this investigation. But State Crime Command, the Raptor Squad, Bankstown detectives are going to do everything that they can to work out exactly why this has happened and who's involved.
Was there another, sorry, Mary.
I was going to say, we've seen the shooting of John Versace about a year ago. We've seen the kidnapping of an 85-year-old man this week. And now the shooting of this individual. What does it say about the nature of the underworld right now in Sydney, that these seemingly innocent people are getting so brutally attacked?
Yeah, look, it's reckless. It's concerning. But we do know that they are, the majority of these are linked to underworld, to organised crime. But it is concerning when innocent people are being injured. And like I said, this strike force now will focus heavily on identifying why this has happened and who is involved.
How many people are inside, occupy the house?
Yeah, look, at this point in time, I believe that the gentleman who has been injured lives at home there with his wife and a number of children. I don't know the age of those children, but I do believe that at the time of the shooting, there were other family members within the house.
And was it a wrong place, wrong time situation? As you mentioned, he was just heading to his car to go to work.
Look, like I said, we believe this was definitely targeted. Whether the victim was the intended target or it was somebody that he knows or associates with or is related to will all form part of the investigation.
Really, really early days, obviously, but it's one of the lines of inquiry potential links with that mistaken kidnapping in North Ryde.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I can't comment on that. This matter is now being investigated by our State Crime Command, who are also investigating the kidnapping. But the information that I have right at this stage is that I do not believe that they are linked.
The victim, you said, was conscious when police arrived. Was he able to provide any useful information to the investigators?
Yes, he spoke to the police on scene. He described what had occurred, but I'm just not at the point at this time to outline exactly what was said, but that'll definitely form part of this investigation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.